Colors can make or break your art. If your colors are appealing enough, it can actually make a crappy drawing look good. But if your colors suck, it can ruin an amazing drawing. And after working with thousands of students, including both beginners and pros, I've pinpointed a few tricky aspects of color that can trip you up if you're not aware of them. So in this video, I'm going to show you the coloring mistake that most people don't even know that they're making, and my effortless trick to instantly simplify your color process. So what are those sneaky parts of color that messes everybody up? Well, first we want to get on the same page about what we mean when we say color. So color is actually made up of three parts: hue, saturation, and brightness. Now you already know hue, it's just the colors of the rainbow. In digital drawing, this will be represented by some sort of color wheel. Saturation is whether your color is totally gray, fully colorful, or a muddy in between. In Procreate, you're going to find the saturation in this little slider right here. And if we go from left to right in this chart, we'll go from more saturated to less saturated. Now, brightness is often referred to as value, and that is whether the color is as dark as black or as light as white. And that's represented by this slider here. Colors up here are lighter, and colors down here are darker. Now, does the idea of choosing colors that look good together make you feel nervous? Well, fun fact, we can use the color wheel to come up with color harmonies. Color harmonies are combos that are scientifically supposed to look good together. And Procreate has a special tool here to help you find those magic color combos that, in theory, are supposed to look great together. So you just tap right here and you can choose between the different harmonies. Then you drag the circles in this around, and these colors that are displayed should work well together. Supposedly. We'll get to that in a minute. But I just want to say that with my method, you don't have to use these color harmonies. You can use whatever colors you like. So if you found the most beautiful color on Pinterest, use that palette. That's fine. Go for it. But have you ever found that perfect color palette, try to apply it to your art, only to find that it just doesn't look very good once it's on your art? Well, this is a super common problem. Let's give it a shot with these color harmonies that Procreate is suggesting here. I'm going to choose one color for my background color, and I'll try using another color to draw a flower. What the heck is happening here? Why don't these two colors work together? Well, if I remove the hue, the colors from this piece, can you tell what's going on here? These colors don't have enough contrast. They're too similar. Contrast is one of the most important things you need in your colors. For example, if I were to draw a lime and the light green bits aren't noticeably brighter, it just doesn't work. The contrast in the colors makes all the difference. Now, getting contrast when you use a single color like green is super easy. Same with shades of black and white. It's why your sketches often look so good and then everything falls apart once you start trying to add colors. Because it's when we start adding in different hues that things get a little bit trickier. Okay, well, with the idea of contrast in mind, let's give this another shot. Let's say that I want to draw some yellow flowers on this pink background. I'm going to start with a really light shade of pink, right? Now I'm going to go to yellow, and I'm going to go really dark because my pink over here was light, right? So I'm going to go dark with my yellow. What is happening? This is really difficult to see. Why? I used a light pink and a dark yellow. Well, again, if I remove the color from this, you'll see that the brightness of these two colors are very, very similar. What gives? Why is this happening? So every color, every hue has different amounts of natural inherent brightness. Let's look at this color wheel here. Every single one of these colors is fully saturated and bright. But if I remove the saturation, what do you notice about the brightness of these colors? That purple and blue are way darker than the other colors. That is the inherent value, the inherent brightness level of these hues. The color yellow is just way naturally lighter than purple is. You'd have to make a really, really dark yellow to get anywhere near the level of this purple, which is not that dark as far as purples go. So you cannot rely on the color picker to tell you whether the colors that you've chosen have enough contrast from each other. So we have to use our eyes to do that. Unfortunately, there's another obstacle in our way that makes that hard to do. So let me show you how to overcome that before you fall into a trap and waste hours, all right? Tell me, in this image, which tile is lighter, tile A or B? Well, if I sample the color of tile B and draw a line towards tile A, you'll see that they are actually the same color. So why does tile B look so much lighter than tile A? Because once again, our big, beautiful brains are being super smart, aka super dumb. Our brain interprets colors based on their surroundings. In this case, the cylinder is casting a shadow over tile B. Our brains tell us that tile B must be brighter because it's in a shadow. When we are choosing colors in our art, contrast can also be tricky to spot because surrounding colors can change how our brains interpret them. So now you know why it's hard to see contrast. What are we supposed to do about it? Well, I love a good shortcut to help us do things the easy, fast way. And I've got lots of exercises and tricks that I teach my students, but I want to share my favorite one with you. So let's say that we've got this girl, and I can't quite put my finger on why this isn't working. Here's what we do. Create a new layer on top of your canvas, fill it with a black as you can get. Now I want you to go to the little N right here, which are your blending modes, and look for one called color. This is going to remove all the saturation, and we can instantly see that the shirt color and background color are too similar. From here, you have a choice. I could either make the background or her shirt brighter or darker so that I can tell them apart. In fact, I don't even have to change the colors. I can just eyedrop the shirt color, make it darker, drop that in. Now I'm going to turn that black layer back on, and boom, yeah. You can totally see this is much easier to see. But what if you added color and it still feels like your art just isn't as good as you'd like it to be? Now, every art piece goes through a phase where it lacks that little oomph, that little spark that makes people go, oh, how cool when they see it. But you can add that little spark in minutes, and the difference is drastic. In this video, I'll show you the simple steps I've taught thousands of students to make their art more captivating, and how it'll enable you to create a distinctive style to make your art stand out from the crowd.